Good morning. Lovely to see you today. My thought for the day is about Proverbs. I'm very fond of Proverbs. There's so many different types of books in the Bible. There are books that are full of stories and adventures, Genesis and Joshua and all these, and Kings, about people and what they did and famous people. And if you like adventure stories, there are adventure stories. And then there are the letters in the New Testament written to people that are very helpful, that give us a lot about the right things to believe about different things. Psalms is great. It's got such a variety of styles of writing. Some are written when the person who wrote it was really feeling terrible and very sad, or very forgotten, or very abandoned, or very anxious. And then there are psalms that are full of joy and praise. There's something for every mood in psalms to encourage us and help us. The Bible is, if anything, intensely honest about what life is like and how God can help us live the best way. But Proverbs is full of individual thoughts that change from verse to verse, and sometimes from half a verse to half a verse. And reading a little bit of Proverbs almost every day is so helpful, because there's snippets about all sorts of aspects of life. And the one I picked out today is in Proverbs 20, verse 23, which says, "Diverse weights are an abomination to the Lord, and false scales are not good." So what is the proverb writer, which is in this part of Proverbs is almost certainly Solomon? What is he writing about? Diverse weights are an abomination to the Lord, and false scales are not good. Well, he's talking about the marketplace. He's talking about the market trader or the shopkeeper, if there is such a thing these days. We have these supermarkets where everything is pre-weighed, well, except for the fruit and vegetables, I suppose. Some of them you weigh out yourself. Well, what if the supermarket owner had one set of weights for some people and a different set of weights for someone else, so that when you put your fruit in, you got slightly less than you paid for. You wanted to get a kilo of, I don't know what it would be, potatoes, or a kilo of onions, or carrots, and you put it on the weighing scales, and it read a kilo, and then when you got it home, you found that it was only 3/4 of a kilo. This is what, back in those days, they would have scales that were like justice scales with two little baskets either side, that sort of thing. And you would, on a fulcrum, is it fulcrum? Anyway, and if the two baskets hung level, then the weight that was on one side was equal to the weight of fruit or whatever it was that you were buying on the other side. But there were, of course, even in the Old Testament days, as there are now, those who would cheat and who would put weights on that were lighter than they were supposed to be. Getting the weights correct. Excuse me. Weights and measures. Honesty. This is what it's talking about. You may be talking about specifically weights in a shop. But these sort of instructions are a principle we can take from it the principle that God does not like dishonesty. In fact, it says they are an abomination to the Lord. That's a big word, abomination. I got my dictionary out. I could Google it, but I do like looking in a real dictionary. I'm old-fashioned like that. I'm going to look at abomination. Oh, there's my bird singing. Abomination. I like looking in a real abomination. Abomination, a person or thing that is disgusting or loathsome. To God, someone who cheats someone else and is dishonest in their work and their labour is hateful to God. God hates it. God is truth and honesty and uprightness and righteousness, and cheating and deceiving someone else for personal gain is, God hates it. You remember in the 10 Commandments, the Lord said, you shall not bear false witness against your neighbour. It's the same sort of thing. If you didn't see something, you mustn't say that you did. And if you saw something but it was different to what the prosecution or the people who you're telling a story and you tell it differently to put yourself in a good light or to put the person in a bad light, you're dishonest. You say something because you want someone else to be punished. Dishonesty. This may be talking about weights and measures and about what you sell or don't sell. I mean, if you sell stuff on eBay or on one of these, platforms, don't describe something differently to what it is. That's why it's so useful. Most of these things have photographs. Be honest. If it's a little worn on the seams, be honest. Don't be dishonest. Dishonesty is, have a think today about your life, about every aspect of your life. This applies to everything. Are you upright and honest in all your dealings? At work, do you take home pencils and pens and notebooks? Perhaps you don't use them anymore at work. Are you stealing? Are you stealing time from your work? Honesty in everything. Diverse weights are an abomination to the Lord, and false scales are not good. I've run out of time, but it's a big subject, isn't it? Interesting to think about. But there's something in the Bible about absolutely everything. God bless you. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.